Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. So today I actually wanted to do a video for twin flame separation. Now we know that whenever we think about twin flame separation, we are literally adding or attaching a negative connotation to this phase in your twin flame dynamic. Now, can't really blame anyone. It is one of the most painful experiences that you go through, and not really knowing how long it can really last. It is painful. And some people will, and some twin flames will experience twin flame separation multiple times. What's critical to understand on the twin flame journey is if you don't understand what you are doing, this separation comes and goes and comes and goes, and you find yourself basically on a merry-go-round where you just can't exit this phase, and you seem to be basically looping in that same cycle over and over. So I wanted to make this video basically to talk about how to create a mental shift within you about how you see separation, and really understanding that this is a powerful period, that if you apply it correctly, you are doing the right things during this separation, it is the greatest blessing on your journey. So this video is going to be dedicated to the things you actually need to be using, so making optimal use of your separation with your twin flame so that you can eventually work towards union. So first off, I want to talk about why you actually loop on the twin flame journey. So during, separation, when your twin, which is hopefully this is the chaser that's listening to this message, because really it is the chasers and the twin flame dynamic that are out there leading the work, trying to come into union with their twin, while the, runner is too busy running. So most likely, if you've landed on this video, you are the chaser trying to understand how you end separation. And so the truth is, when you are new on the twin flame journey, even if you had somebody tell you of things to do, that is so far-fetched for you that you don't really want to listen and understand. And that's not your fault. The truth is, it takes a little bit of time to really understand what's happening on the twin flame journey. There's probably very few twin flames that understand right away that this is not you can say a romantic connection. While that is, in your mind, the end goal, there is a lot that happens on this journey. And to really come into union, there's a lot you need to overcome and really work through. So with that being said, as it's not that you may not get the right information, but your level of awareness early on in the twin flame journey is not the same as once you've kind of repeated some lessons and you really get fed up with what's going on and you want to shift on this journey, that you start to almost make sense of the information that's available to you in a way that's actually going to work for you. So the truth here is that twin flames, especially the chaser and the dynamic, is really has access to information but isn't really in tune with what really needs to get done. So that really takes you a while and keeps you looping. So what I want to talk about here are 4 key things that, once you are ready for it, this is what you want to dedicate your time to on your twin flame journey, especially during the separation phase, so that you can make the necessary shifts to come into union with your twin flame. So the first thing that you want to really try and understand on this journey, because the twin flame journey is about self-mastery. Now, this is about getting to know yourself at a deeper level so that you can actually heal from your old wounds, past patterns, and come out on top, being ready for union when that's, time for that to occur. But really, what you want to take a look at is most of the time when your twin is actually being magnetized in, even if it's a very short period of time before they run away again, they are always trying to reflect back to you what you need to heal in yourself. And that opens up doors for you on this journey at a much wider and much broader scale. So basically, let's say you have a low sense of self-worth. You may get to, experience when your twin is coming back in and out that you are really triggered by that. Maybe not the first time, not the second time, but maybe the third or fourth time, you might finally say to yourself, what is this? Why do they keep doing this to me? And really what you're being asked to do is take a look at that pattern and where it's really kind of echoing throughout your life, not just with your twin, because this journey isn't about that. This is about self-mastery and really healing on a much wider and deeper scale. So you're going to want to take a look at the same repeating patterns that show up in your life. If, you're a runner, they keep coming in and out of your life, causing you to really think about what's happening and why this keeps happening to you, not just with your twin and others. You really want to take a deep look at what that represents in your life so that you can actually shift from that pattern that keeps occurring in your life. What is required in order for you to stand up for yourself, love yourself enough, know that you are good enough to rise above and beyond. And really, this is, a learning lesson for you to move out of these old patterns and heal them completely. So really take a look at those lessons that show up for you. Now, it's really kind of annoying almost to hear something like this because this journey is already so painful, but there is such a deeper purpose to this journey. And you really have to pay attention to these patterns so that they don't repeat themselves. That is where you get to shift on this journey. Now, the next thing that you really want to be doing on your twin flame journey during the separation period is meditation. I say this in pretty much all my videos. Your meditation is actually your number one key solution on your twin flame journey. And it's not really just about, bringing your twin back in for union, but what you're trying to do here is connect back in with yourself, coming home to your own self. And the only way to really do that, to really kind of pierce through the noise of the world, is meditation. When you go into meditation, you'll actually be able to connect back with what your soul is really trying to tell you. You may always hear the statement to say that, you always remember who you are. Where that really comes from is our ability to really dive in deep to our soul. And as we do that, as we shift our frequency, we tend to remember that which we have, evolved into in previous lives, and that knowledge and wisdom that we carry is unlocked in your current and present reality. As a twin flame, you really have to remember that you're not just here to unite with your twin. That's just a tiny aspect of what you're really here to do. You have most likely a divine purpose, a divine mission that you're being called to and to step into. And that is not possible until you come home to yourself, do the meditation so that you can start unlocking that truth that you're going to need to really complete this journey. So meditation, and a daily practice of meditation is going to be key during your separation phase with your twin. Now, the third thing you want to be doing during your separation phase is really becoming aware of yourself. And really what I mentioned in number 1 and 2 are closely related with this, and what will really help you kind of almost expand your awareness on number 3 is you will on this journey have a lot of tests that come your way. Tests of commitment, tests of leveling up, tests of your faith on the journey. And so you are going to not really pay attention to these at first, but a lot of times on this journey, you may have some deja vu moments where it actually feels like, wait, have I experienced this before? Wait, your awareness of what you're going through will become sharper and sharper as you move through the journey. And that's why meditation is actually going to be key for you to be able to receive any higher guidance and to see if you're in alignment on your journey. And also what I mentioned previously about lessons ties into this as well. Because sometimes when you learn the same lesson over and over, you will then finally have a test that comes along the way to really see if you got the point. And as you really pass some of these things that show up on your journey is when you get to level up and turn the chapter and, keep moving on a higher level on your journey. So really pay attention to these as they come forward. And again, sometimes it's so subtle. It's not until you actually go through them that you realize, wait, I know what that was. I know what was happening here. And you know what? If you missed the boat, that's okay, because it will reappear once again. So just meditation and watching out and self-awareness on this journey is going to really help you anchor in and strengthen number 3. Now, number 4. This is something you hear a lot on the twin flame journey. So I'm just going to share this with you. Is you'll always hear, don't wait for your twin. Keep moving. Enjoy your life. And while that is a perfectly true statement, hands down, it has some great truth to it. The key missing element here is if that's all you're doing, if all you're doing is forgetting everything else and just trying to enjoy your life so that you don't think about your twin, you're not waiting for them, you're enjoying life, that's great. But if union is still a goal, that is not going to happen by you practicing this and this alone. So in combination with 1, 2, and 3, number 4 is really enjoy your life during separation. Now, I was talking to somebody a long time ago, and they were telling me, being a twin flame on the journey, that they were not about to waste a single day of their life while they were here on Earth, because they have a very clear memory of being able to remember their past lives and how long they actually waited to come here down on Earth. And so they wanted to make the best of every moment that they had, whether or not their twin was going to be here. And I thought, wow, how refreshing is that to really think about that. So what I would say to you is enjoy your life, because you need to find a balance between your spiritual practice that you're going to need on this journey, as well as to be able to enjoy every moment as you're going through this really rough ride and rough journey. You really want to be able to take in each and every moment and really enjoy it, because, the twin flame journey can be long and intense, and it can last, very lucky if it's a few months for anybody, but really it takes several years for the most of twins to really work through all that they need to work through to come into inner union and then outer union. So really enjoy your time, but you do need to still, during separation, focus on the things that I've mentioned in 1 through 3. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.